Hi everybody, and welcome to Rene's Spiritual Ways. In this video today, I am going to be talking about the history of witchcraft and how to start a spiritual practice following witchcraft. And also let you know about a few celebrities that practice the craft in spirituality. The Wiccan religion is known as the craft, Wicca, and the old religion. In a diverse and decentralized religion that is part of contemporary paganism, nature, spirituality. Today, there are thousands of individuals and groups practicing various forms of the Wiccan religion and other pagan nature spirituality paths within the United States and throughout the world. There are many forms of the Wiccan religion. Hereditary family traditions are very often passed down from one generation to the next with the knowledge of the ancestors of that family lineage. There's also Gardenian, Alexandrian, Celtic, British traditionalist, Druid, nature spirituality, hoodoo, and voodoo. These are just some of the variety of Wiccan traditions or paths. Within most Wiccan and other pagan traditions, there are a variety of types of groups called covens, as well as individual practitioners called solitary practitioners. Groups differ widely in size and structure, purpose, orientation, symbology, ritual practices, and other ways. There is even more variation among those practicing Wiccan pagan spirituality on their own without being part of a group that meets regularly. Some Wiccan and pagan traditions are initiatory, and others are not. Initiatory practices vary from tradition to tradition and include initiations by deities and spiritual helpers through dreams, vision quests, self-initiation, and initiation by teachers and groups. Although there are many differences, there are also some spiritual practices and philosophies that Wiccans and other pagans tend to have in common. They love and respect nature. Hence the reason why I'm outside today. It's a little chilly, but we're getting this done. They love and respect nature and seek to live in harmony with the rest of the ecosphere. Many have personal communication and friendships with various animals, plants, and other life forms. They honor the cycle of nature. Many do rituals at the new and full moon times and also at the 8-season festivals, called Sabbats, spaced 6 to 7 weeks apart throughout the year, coinciding with the solstice, equinoxes, and midpoints between, usually called cross quarters. Samhain, popularly known as Halloween, is the new year in most Wiccan and pagan spiritual traditions. The Wiccan religion and other forms of paganism are pantheist, in that the divine is seen everywhere and in everything. As in that human, tree, animal, stream, rock, and other forms of nature is seen to have divine spirit within. Many traditions honor this divine unity. The divine is also honored in a variety of divine forms, including goddesses and gods and other spiritual forces, as in spirit guides and animal totems and whatnot, but we'll dive into that. Wiccan and other pagans also honor the element of nature: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit, and their associated directions: north for earth, east for air, fire for south, and water for west. And center, in the sacred circles where rituals are held. Rituals usually include a combination of meditation, invocations, movement, music, and the use of magical tools. As part of the spiritual practice, many Wiccan and other pagans develop their intuitive abilities and practice magic, directing psychic energy for particular healing and helping purposes. In working magic, Wiccans adhere to the Wiccan Rede, a form of the Golden Rule, which is the central ethical law of the religion. And it harm none, do what you will. Most Wiccans acknowledge that whatever magical forces is sent out returns magnified to the center, also known as a threefold law. Whatever you send out there comes back to you 3 times. So if you send positive, you're going to be ultimately blessed. And if you send out negative, you're going to be screwed. Wiccans do not perform evil magic and do not worship the devil or Satan, which is the anti-god of Christians. The Wiccan religion is pre-Christian and post-Christian, not anti-Christian. Although Wiccan religion and other forms of contemporary paganism draw on ancient roots, especially from pre-Christian Europe, they also embody the new. Many practitioners are creating new chants, meditations, and rituals, and are sharing them with others through publications, correspondence, and face-to-face contact at gatherings or over YouTube. Festivals, conferences, and conventions that bring those of many paths together. So how to start a Wiccan spiritual practice? Well, seeing where there are so many different paths and practices of witchcraft, I'm going to give you a few simple ways to start, and then from there you will have to research different practices of the craft that best suits your spiritual needs. Google has a great resource for research, obviously, or any search engine that you truly want. I have some squirrel friends over here. That's part of being out in nature. Hi, guys. Let's see, where was I? You can start by simply taking a walk in nature. Feel the breeze on your skin. Feel the warmth of the sun. Feel the grass beneath your bare feet. Pick up some dirt in your hand. Simply, just hug a tree. Put your hand in the ocean or a stream or a river or in a pond. See the squirrel behind me? Sorry, I got sidetracked. It makes me excited that they're coming to say hi. So, yep. And if it's too cold where you are, and everything's frozen, you can hop into a tub and feel the energy of the water there and how soothing the warmth of it is and the cleansing aspect of it. There are 4 directions and 4 elements, like I mentioned before. And the elements is north and earth, east and air, fire and water. East, let me start over. North and earth. So think of north and earth. So think of what's in the north. There are mountains and there's like boulders behind me, really strong. That to me is the energy of the earth. It's the foundation of where we live and how we survive. It grows our food. It gives us oxygen, and it absorbs CO2 out of the atmosphere. Like, earth is really our supporting force. And then think about eastern air. What do we breathe? We breathe air, people. So that's definitely. And then when I think of south and fire, I always look at the sun as a representation. If it wasn't for the sun, we wouldn't have plant life, and we wouldn't be here, And then western water. What does stuff need that grows out of the earth to live? It needs water. So when we also have spirit guides, not only the spirits that exist in nature, but also ones that are connected to our ancestors and other universal guides that are always there for you, guiding you on your path. And they will bring you to an opportunity that they believe that would benefit you. And they'll also steer you away from a situation that they believe will not benefit you. So all you have to do is simply close your eyes when you're touching the earth or hugging a tree or whatever you're engaging with. Pick up a crystal. Seek to feel the energy in that moment with that object. Take note as you walk around in nature with animals that you come across. Was there anything that stood out on your time in nature? And when you get home, Google the spiritual meaning of them. And definitely keep a little diary, because these are all message from spirit. You know, nothing's going to cross your path that you're not going to need the information on. Like, for example, squirrels, they mean gathering and preparation. That's what they mean. So, you know, it's cold out. I actually have some food over to the side of me in my compost pile that they love to munch on throughout the winter when food is scarce. So that's definitely one, you know, nature spirit that I help, and I do put out bird seeds, not too much, but I do, and I have birds that come around, and each bird has a symbolic meaning behind them, just to, you know, get there. So just honestly, and even if you live in a city, guys, when you go outside, you're still in nature. Even though it could be the concrete jungle, you still can see, you know, go to a green area, or if, you know, go to a park and sit on a bench or sit on the ground and feel the grounding forces of the earth. And take note of the animals that you see there too. There's still birds and squirrels, and you know, I know that there's raccoons and opossums in cities, and even coyotes. Since this whole crazy pandemic has started, people have been sighting them everywhere and going closer and closer to cities. So there's definitely a message in everything. Just in coming on a spiritual path, of no matter what path you go down, we are talking about the Wiccan path. However, everything in nature has a message and has a purpose and has a reason and has an energy for all of us on this earth. We are all connected. So step back, and truly take in all of the beauty that is around you. Realize it or not, we're all energetically connected to everything on this earth and throughout the universe. And there is energy that we can utilize in every stone, seashell, branch, piece of dirt, leaf, crystal, and herbs, and the list goes on. You can utilize and receive power from, and use it to amplify your power from within and all around you. So let's talk about altars. So altars are a sacred space, and that is dedicated for magical practices. Deity worship, meditation, or anything you feel requires a separate sacred space to work in. While there are traditional ways to set up an altar, your altar is unique to you. Only include items on your altar that speak to you and feel right. I suggest that you look up altar supplies for the craft and make it your own. You should pick a place for an altar somewhere in your home that you can either get away from the rest of the people in the home, or you know that you'll have time to. Maybe send all the kids to their bedrooms and you have like a little space in your living room that you have. You just make sure that you pick somewhere that you'll be able to get away from the rest of the house and call it your own, you know, for at least for the time being that you're doing your practice. This space can be on top of your dresser with a few magical tools, or you can dedicate an entire room for your practice, or have your entire home as a sacred space. I have crystals all around my home, and many magical symbols, statues, and inspiring photos of nature and written affirmations throughout. You can also do some or all of your practices outside in areas that you feel connected to. You can have a bag with your altar supplies in it for you to practice on the go. Basic components is the elements, a physical or metaphorical representation. You can speak of them or have actual items that represent them on your altar, like dirt or salt for earth, a feather or a burning stick of incense for air, a candle for fire, or also a burning stick of incense because it's giving off smoke, which represents air, and it's red and hot, which represents fire. You can have a bowl of water, a handful of snow, or an ice cube to represent water, or a glass of water. You know, and if you're outside, you can use the sun in the sky for fire. If you're near a brook or an ocean or a river or a pond or a lake, you can use that to represent as water, because you can use the outside as your temple and definitely call upon the elements that are around you. Or if it's raining, you can use the symbolism of rain to represent water for you. You know, the earth beneath your feet or the stone can represent, you know, the element of earth, and the wind blowing can represent the element of air for you. But when you're first starting out, or if you want to just keep it simple when working outside, you can do this. For the element spirit, you can recognize the spirit that is within you, yourself. Or you can have a pentagram drawn on a piece of paper. You can scribble it in the dirt with a stick. You can actually make the pentagram out of sticks, which, you know, that represents spirit. Or again, like I said, you can just say, hey, spirit within me, and that's representing spirit. It's, you know, it's all about what feels right to you. You know, if the shoe fits, wear it, and if it's uncomfortable, then let it go. And if it doesn't resonate with you, or if you're not feeling inside intuitively that this is a good tool for you to use, then set it aside. You don't have to use it. It's your practice. Also, a few other tools are a cauldron, a wand, a bell, crystals, and statues of the gods and the goddesses, which I know that there are many, and you can just pick basic ones, or you can dive into the background of a specific, like the Celtics or the Druids or the Egyptians, or whatever's vibing with you. Like I said, if the shoe fits, wear it. If you just want a male, and you can just simply draw on a piece of paper the symbol for male and the symbol for female. That's it. I mean, believe me, once you guys dive in, there are so many different tools that you will love and want to incorporate into your practice. Keep in mind, make it as big or as small as you want. Also, follow the moon phases, for they have much energy and information for you. And down in the Show More section, I have a PDF of the moon cards that I have made. That's free for you guys, and it is a guide as to what, when, and how you should focus on during the different phases of the moon. When it comes to the god and the goddess, they represent the equal balance between man and woman, also known as yin and yang. Some practitioners at the beginning, if they haven't chosen a specific god or goddess they work with, when they call the god and the goddess with no specific one in mind, the universe will direct the universal power to the male and the female energy that is needed for that specific ritual. So the universe knows your intent because we vibe with it and our energy is exchanged. Within our words that we're putting out there, the universe is going to know what energy that we need and direct it to those energies for us. So not to worry, they're totally keeping us in mind and supporting us. So keep in mind, when you can use whatever god and goddess that speaks to you, there are no rules. It is your practice. Use the information that you read about as an outline, if you will, and make it your own. If you connect with a certain group, then go with that. I mean, that's the best that I can say for you. There's no trial and error here. As long as you're doing good, we're good. So as far as divination, like tarot card readings, scrying, pendulums, and whatnot, it's not a necessary tool or gift to have when practicing the craft, but that's information for another video that I will definitely dive in for you guys and kind of explain each aspect and how to utilize those energies as well. So a few of us celebrities that are practicing spirituality and the craft is Angelina Jolie. She said, I find meditation and sitting on the floor with the kids, coloring for an hour, or going on the trampoline. You do something that makes you happy, and that gives you your meditation. Then we have Gillian Anderson. I do yoga and meditation. I read things and attempt to ground myself and remind me to stay in the here and now. Rather than jump too much into the future of planning and organizing the chaos of life, I try not to spend too much time on screens, which is a challenge today, for sure. Another one, Emma Watson. My interest in meditation was born out of the curiosity for Buddhism. I started being interested in a literary way, but I realized that reading books wasn't enough, that you have to practice for it to work. So I started, and I love it. Jennifer Aniston. I started doing transcendental meditation that really changed everything in 20 minutes. You just notice a difference. When I get lazy and don't get it in, I can feel a difference in the day. So I try to meditate first thing when I wake up. Then we have the Olsen twins. They're obsessed with sage and smudging. I sage everything all the time, constantly saging. I don't want bad energy. For those of you who don't know, saging is from American Indian traditions as well as the craft for cleansing and clearing negative energy. So Stevie Nicks, who knew? I knew. I totally believe in magic, she says, because my life, I think, has been very magical, and magical things have come true for me time after time after time. Then, who else do we have? Did I lose my place? Sybil Shepherd said in a speech once, "Thank to the God and Goddess in all her guises. May she bring us peace, joy, and righteous anger. Blessed be." And then Heather Graham. I have this group of friends, and we get together and we call ourselves the goddesses, and we wish for things, and then a lot of amazing things have happened to all of us. We burn things honoring the elements of earth, wind, air, and fire. We do spells. We did this thing where we were calling on the wind and air, and this whole storm started on my roof. It was amazing and so empowering. So that's my information for today for you guys about the spiritual path and the craft. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment and let me know what you thought. And stay tuned for the next one because I'm going to be spitting these out every week. Bye guys. Blessed be. Have a good day.